Money's moving to me. I'm a millionaire. Money better cases. I ain't gotta chase it.
Hello. Great evening, everybody. Great day to you. Great morning, great afternoon, depending on where you are in the world and when you are watching this video. Welcome, one and all. So, if you're watching me live tonight, go ahead and let me know where you're watching from. Rep your city, rep your country. Let me know where in the virtual building you are watching me from on tonight, darling. And if you're watching the replay, after this comes on, go ahead and type replay, let me know as well. So listen, y'all, I don't plan to be before you long, and y'all know how I say that. But I'm going to go ahead and get started with my intro as I always do. My name is Sharita Leon. I went from being a homeless, disabled, single mom to a two-time #1 best-selling author with books that were in the bestsellers list for over 2 years straight. I'm also a life, relationship, and business coach, and internet marketing strategist, entrepreneur, international speaker, and the protege of legendary Les Brown, a Forex trader and investor. And I empower my tribe to live their God-given purpose while creating wealth and have healthy relationships. I'm also a believer, and my faith is exuded in all that I do. So welcome, beautiful people. Now, I'm going to put this out there right off the gate. There will be many people that will not like what I'm going to share with you tonight. But you know what? It doesn't matter, because the truth is the truth, whether you like it or not. And those who have an ear to hear will take accountability, take action, and literally start to prepare for the world that we currently are in and creating at the same time. So as you've seen the title of this video, it's really straight to the point. You're either going to be rich or you're going to be poor. Point blank, period. And this, I'm really focusing on us Americans here, because while most people in other countries around the world, especially in third world countries, they already know that, they live that reality. But for us Americans, that has not really been a reality for most of us. While there have been people that have come from poverty lines, there's always been that middle class, right? And the truth is that is going to be non-existent. Now, I have been preaching this to you all for literally half a decade. This is not new. But what's happening is the times are starting to catch up a whole lot more with the things that I have been saying. And yet and still, I still find people that are not grasping what's taking place and still feel as if they have the time or the comfortability to stay the same. These are not the times we're in, honey. If you can't tell based on what has just taken place, literally across the globe, you need to wake all the way up. Hello, somebody. If I was someone that cussed, I would have said it a different way. Literally, you have to realize that there is no in between. And years ago, I shared this with you all, and I told you about this book that I read called We Want You to Be Rich, Why We Want You to Be Rich. And it was from Robert Kiyosaki and Donald Trump. And in that book, they discuss how there will be no middle class in America. Well, don't you see that's happening? From a crazy pandemic that has taken place, from people losing their jobs, to recessions, through inflation, through all the things taking place where there's no certainty at all in the regular way of doing things. Do you not realize now more than ever, shifts have taken place, and you now have to figure out how it is to never stay in a position where you're not rich, because the middle class is non-existent. There's no such thing. There'll be the haves and the have-nots, period. And while it is unfortunate, that is the truth, but there's nothing new under the sun. Jesus himself said, the poor you will have with you always. But now what's happening is there'll be far more poor people if they don't take action and advance in their thinking and in the ways that they move. Because when I say that, most people think, well, I'm okay. Maybe you make, high 5 figures a year. Maybe you make even 6 figures a year. That is not going to be enough. Because as you see prices increasing, as you see limitations taking place from, be it food, location, homes, different things that are taking place, you got to pay attention to what's going on. I have been trying to purchase water from Amazon for, I think like 3 weeks, or if not longer than that. Getting my stuff from Fresh. They don't have bottled water. How do you not have? Amazon has everything under the sun. How do you not have bottled water? But then, in addition to that, when you go to buy certain things, there are limitations as to how many things you can purchase, what the quantity is. Why do you think that is? I've gone to several different grocery stores and placing my order, and I will call and say, well, we don't have this. You don't have basic necessities, like stuff that just used to be there. And they said, well, we're short on that. There is a food shortage taking place, and most people don't realize that. And so we have to be able to have the anointing like the sons of Issachar to discern what seasons we're really in and do something entirely different. The whole world is changing. Do you realize that right now people are not only becoming wealthy, but people are making a virtual reality more real than the actual world that we live in? There are more things taking place for some people in a virtual world in the metaverse than there are in everyday physical touch. And they have been dropping seeds on us on how things are going to change for a very long time. Hello, Mr. Jeffrey. Did anybody ever see that movie? I think it was called Real Player One or something like that. In that movie, there was the main character who was a gamer, but he lived in the slums. And there were all these like cardboard homes that they kind of put on top of each other, almost like aluminum a little bit. And he would run home to get and put on his Oculus, right? To get into his virtual world gaming. He had a whole girlfriend in there and everything. And that was his real world. But then he lived in the slums. So he would run to go home to play this game, to hopefully play this game to win some money, I think it was, or to save his family, something of that sort. You saw it, so you know what I'm talking about. Do y'all realize that's what's happening right now? Hello, somebody. That's literally what is happening right now. And while people may think they're comfortable in their homes, for most people, that's going to end up turning into slums. Because once again, there will be no middle class. You're either going to be poor or you're going to get rich. This is where the mindset of 50 cents back in the day, that get rich or die trying, that's where a lot of folks need to be right now. Like, you better figure out what is it that I'm going to do. And see, this is where people miss it, because the creating the wealth and the riches is not just to have the lavish lifestyle. While that's definitely part of it, it's going to literally come to a point of survival. That the only people that will be able to survive are those that can be self-reliant, self-sufficient, based off of their own wealth, based off of their own food, their own supply. I remember about maybe 12 years ago, a marketer that I used to follow literally changed everything. He stopped doing his regular way of marketing and social. He used to do attraction marketing. He was the one who really coined the phrase attraction marketing. And he went into dig deep into investing. And so he became very wealthy. He got into investing, and he literally created his own like little world to where he could be self-sufficient for times like what we're about to approach. And so he literally had his own compound. He had all of this land. He grew his own food. He had literally an underground compound, and he had his own electrical system that would work in the event that they had no electricity. Everything was self-reliant. He had food stored for like years for he and his family in the event that an apocalypse would come. How many of us could say we could do that? Have a whole bunch of land, be self-sufficient, have our own farming, have our own electricity. Like, this is some real stuff that we're not paying attention to because we're so caught up in everything else being distracted, and no one even thinks to do something different. It's about to get real. And those who are not proactive, it's going to be gloom and doom. Like, this is some real talk. I don't talk to y'all about getting rich just to talk about it. I tell you all this because it's going to look really crazy for a lot of people. And it's going to take more than prayer. It's going to take more than prayer. Thank you very much, sir. And so we, be it believers or not, need to have instructions and do something different. Because even in the time of famine, when Joseph was in rule, he had instructions on what to do. So that way when the famine came, they were good. But we want to sit here and just pray. Why pray and do nothing? Why pray and then not apply anything? Because when you pray, you should get some downloads. God should be showing you something, give you instructions. Holy Spirit should be leading you. If that's not happening, you're doing something wrong. And so if you're there and you're not taking any type of action, you've missed it. So we want to pray and tell everybody, you get your relationship with God right. Yeah, that's part of it. But then, okay, you go to heaven. That's the mindset of most believers that can't think outside of where they are. He put you on this earth for a reason. And he said in his word that he gave you all things that pertain unto life and godliness. So that means you should have instruction on how to live here on this earth too, not trying to run to the by and by. Get your relationship right with God. Okay, then what? How do we live in this natural world? That's what most Christians and religious people don't get. This is still a world that you should be operating in and have the wisdom and the ability to do so, as Jesus did. And so people getting distracted with what's going on in their personal lives, people not wanting to be a part, and people not understanding the new virtual world and understanding, the virtual financial world and the blockchain and all of that. Y'all can sit here and act like you don't understand and let that stop you. But I promise you, many will sit back and say, I wish I would have. And at that point, obviously, it would be too late. And it should never take fear to get people to move. But the unfortunate thing is that's how it typically works. Most people are motivated or inspired by fear. Most people are inspired by negative things taking place. Like, for example, most people have to go to a doctor for the doctor to say, hey, if you don't stop or if you don't do this, this is going to happen. Let's be proactive. Let's make the changes now. Let's associate ourselves with people that have our answer to help us change our situation. Because, honey, do y'all see what's happening? But this is also the other thing, too, that people don't realize. The rich get wealthy and they stay wealthy. The rich get richer because they have a different mindset, but they know things. They can project things. And so they prepare for them. Most wealthy people have a generational wealth plan. They have a plan for their families. They know what to do. They study the markets. They know what's going on. Do you think that a war is happening for no reason? Do you think that people are not benefiting from the wars that are taking place? Do you think people are not benefiting from the inflation? Do you think people are not benefiting from people losing jobs and the stock market crashing? Do you not think people are benefiting from that? The people that know how to work it are. And while it's entirely horrible what is taking place, and I'm praying for what's going on in Ukraine and everywhere else around the world that's going to be affected by all of these other things, there are people that know how to make sure that they're aligning themselves to still win. So you have to be able to pray, watch, as well as pray and take action. Because right now, let me tell you, like today, for example, prime example, because of what took place out in Ukraine, the markets were crazy. And because I know how to get into the markets to benefit me, myself, and the Royal Pip Society, we all made a lot of money today because I knew how to get in and share those signals with them based off of the news, based off of what's happening all the way on the other side of the world. Gold was all over the place today. Those European pairs were all over the place today. The news affects the markets. And the difference between the stock market and trading foreign exchange market or crypto is that you're able to benefit from either direction. But when those stocks drop and you own stocks, you just lost a whole lot of money. So there's a game. Life is a game. And you just got to know how to play it. That's the straight up truth. Life is a game and you have to know how to play it. You have to know both how to play it and then how to create your own rules all at the same time, simultaneously. And that's real talk. That's real talk. But when people come and share knowledge like this, that is not the norm, most people are like, well, I don't know, she on that other stuff. I don't know what she's talking about. And so we have to make sure that we are unlearning a whole lot of stuff and do it shaking. Like I was talking to someone and they said something to me and I'm thinking to myself, but are you getting these results at your job? Do you have a plan? I promise you, I guess it's a psych major in me that tries to understand how people think, because I've always had this great desire to understanding the mind and how it works and how people think the way they think. And I'm just like, do you hear yourself? Like, do you hear what you're saying? There is no way your current thinking is going to support what you say you actually want. It's that simple. It is that simple. And God always sends messengers. He never leaves us or forsakes us and never gives us warning. He always sends messengers. But we'll be able to know when the messengers arrive. Will you be able to know? Because now more than ever, honey, you better learn how to be self-sufficient. And not only self-sufficient, when I say self-sufficient, I say self-sufficient in regards to outside of the regular way of doing things according to the world and how things have been. Now is the time to create the communities with the like-minded people, with the resources. And that's why the Royal Prince Society is so important, because you have a group of individuals from many different industries and fields, and you tap into the knowledge of all these other people. So we come together and bring our resources, our knowledge, and our abilities together to make sure that no one actually lacks. Oh, so-and-so has this. Let me go to her. Or, you know what? She has this. He has that. Oh, he has that business. Well, you know what? He actually has a land that he's willing to share with everybody. You need to have people like that in your circle. Because right now, honey, I'm just saying, you all will see for yourselves. Being proactive is everything. Being proactive is everything. Because the have and the have-nots is straight up real. The systems that were holding up or keeping people will no longer remain. They're already jacked up as they are. So let alone as other things progress. And the truth is, no one is really concerned about the people that can't really help them financially. Certain neighborhoods, certain income brackets, they don't care about those people, because what talks? Money. And the truth is, the US dollar has no real weight. It gets worse and worse. So if all you have is access to the US dollar, what does that say? It holds no real weight. And so do you not think it would be wise to tap into currency that has more weight? Moreover, to tap into currencies from around the world? Because sooner or later, cash won't even be accepted. I shared a post today on my personal page on Cash App how you have the option now to send money in the form of either cash, stocks, or Bitcoin. Those are the options that they have on their app to send to people. Which goes to show you, before you know it, cash won't even be there. We will be in this digital world. And if you don't have any of it, it is what it is. But then the other thing is, if they make an attempt to give people access to being able to have some type of cryptocurrency, by the time that happens, where they're enforcing and encouraging all the people to have it, do you know how expensive it will be? Do you know how expensive it will be? But if you stacked up before that time takes place, you would have already been settled. Hello. The rules are changing, y'all. The rules are changing. And you don't just gotta stay woke. you have to have a whole higher consciousness, period. Period. Because things are changing quickly And they're subtle. And they're quickly and subtle at the same time because people don't even realize the rights that are being taken from them, the laws that are being enforced. That's how subtle and quick things are happening. We're a walking paradox. So what do? You don't get left behind. I'll tell you that. Remember that Christian movie Left Behind? Listen, it's more than just the rapture left behind, okay? It's left behind in knowledge, left behind in action. Again, the good book says, my people perish. My people perish. His people perish because of a lack of knowledge. Not the world. The world ain't perishing because of that. They'll have other reasons to perish because they're far ahead. The good book tells you that. The good book tells you that the people of the world are more wise than the children of God. How is that? So we want to just stay deep and pray all day and do nothing and shun everything instead of making friends with money. That's Bible. Your good Bible says to make friends with money, with those that have the bag. Why? Because y'all need to learn some things. I'm about to sip my wine on that. You need to learn some things. And what happens is there will be a time. The Bible says, work while it is yet day. Work while it is yet day. Because what? When darkness comes, no man can work. Once again, being proactive. Because there'll be a time that this information that was being shared right now won't be available. Then when it's not available anymore, there's no one to blame. There's no resource that can help you. So when you can't go live anymore, when you can't find somebody sharing this opportunity with you, when there may not be the regular structure of business and people can't buy a coaching course, and people can't buy a new dress or hair, but now it's actually survival. And the only way you can live comfortably is based off the life that you've created. It's real talk, y'all. It's real talk. Like, this thing is so serious. People don't get it. And I watch them and it really baffles me and it hurts. It hurts watching people just be like, so nonchalant. So nonchalant and so stuck in their ways and trying to hold on to the things that they don't really have. You already don't have. That's just, it goes back to what I said the other day. Y'all, a lot of people are like the man with the talent, the one talent, holding on and gonna go dig it in the ground. Digging it in the ground. Hello, Queen. Yes, I will call you Tuesday. I'll check my schedule. I think I'm supposed to talk to you tomorrow, right? You might want to make that Monday because if we're going to talk about what I think we're going to talk about Tuesday, we'll be a little too late. But listen, the guy with the talent, he had one and he dug it. I'm going to hold this because I know, Master, when you come, da-da-da-da, all the excuses. Meanwhile, he was like, you didn't grow my money? You didn't do anything with my money? You just sat there? You didn't get me any interest? You didn't bring my money to the bank? You let my money sit in the ground? Are you serious? But the one who had 5 came back with 10. Oh, he was happy. He was like, this is what I'm talking about. Well done, great and faithful servant. Every time I say that to myself and I hear it, I just get so upset at the fact that all my life, that scripture has been put in the context of people living holy. Well done, good and faithful servant. Come into the... No, he told that man he was a good and faithful servant because he multiplied his money. Oh, Father, help us, Lord. Folks be more deep than God. Like, folks be more deep than God, I promise you. He gave all according to their several ability. All of us have been given tools based off our ability. And then once we are shown to be faithful over that, we then can increase to a higher level. That's Bible. Where is the fruit? Where can we find fruit in our lives? And this is where self-evaluation has to come in. Where can I find fruit in my life? Has there been new fruit added to my life? Have I had increase in some area? And it doesn't have to necessarily be financially, because that's definitely one big major one, but in other areas, am I being fruitful in a relationship, in my health, in my habits, in my consistency? Where is the fruit? Is my fruit the same level of fruit I had before? Where is the elevation and improvement? If it's not happening, we got to figure some things out and figure it out quickly. Do y'all realize how time just seems to be going so fast? Like the days are just like, we're already almost at the end of the first quarter of 2022. When did that happen? We're legit in March already. Y'all, the things that are happening it's just a lot. It's just a lot. And at the same time, while there's a lot of things going on that can seem negatively or seem negative, there are a lot of great things that are happening. But the thing is, because some people don't have the proper lens, they can't realize that the great things are happening. So, in the same fashion that there's this big push of negativity, there's also this big wealth transfer taking place, allowing average people to change their lives. That's the amazing thing. We live in polarity. And so God will never allow us to be without, right? There will be resources and things because he's already given us the power to get wealth. He already told us that. But we have to be able to tap into these resources and do whatever it takes. That's where a lot of people miss it. A lot of people miss it because they feel like they have to do just enough. Or I'll try it, or it didn't work, or last time I did it. Okay, so what you gonna do? So you're gonna stop? Like, we don't stop. We go until we get it done. And we keep going until it's done. Period. We just keep going. We figure it out. We failed, okay, learn something from it. Let's do it better next time. The journey is gonna look like this. Vehicles may change, but what must remain is your willingness to continue to go until you finally get to where you need to be and who you need to become in the process. I have people, y'all, I'm not gonna lie to you, and this has been this case for eons since I've been in business. I have people who have purchased courses from me. I have people who have joined my groups, see other people making money. This is what I don't understand. You see other people making money, just copying and pasting me, and you ain't getting one trade. It's beyond me. It's beyond me. How you see people making money and you stop? And it's just excuses. Oh, I know. And what? What are you doing? What are you doing? And you know, the song just came to my head. And I know folks probably gonna have a whole way of thinking when I say this. But literally, the one of the verses or bars that Jay-Z said came to my head. I can't think what song was it? I can't remember what song it was. But he said something to the effect of the church can't save you, something like that. And I remember when that song first came out, he said that, I was like, I knew it. Oh, Illuminati, and I knew he was a devil. Da, 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 da. But in my understanding of what that is meaning is that people have the wrong trust in the wrong things. And there are really people who literally think that the church can save them. And they feel as if they just hide and go to every, like, listen, you're hearing from someone that used to live at the church. Do you hear me? I was there when they opened up. I was there when it closed down. I was there at church every single day, like literally every single day. And if you're in the church every single day, but you never actually go out to apply what you're learning, what's really happening? Because what we don't realize is that we can make anything an addiction. Now, of course, your relationship with God being an addiction, that's a good thing, right? If you don't use wisdom, you're not, just off. But when we do things hiding underneath something to keep us in surface level and not to actually go and do anything differently, we're lying to ourselves. It doesn't matter what it is. You're no different than the person that hides under substance abuse. Yours may just seem more righteous, but you're still stuck. And so I say all of this to say, you better find a way for you and your family to get rich for real, because we're all going to need it. We're going to have to be reliant on ourselves and our communities that we've built with like-minded individuals to prepare for whatever may come our way, right? To prepare for whatever may come our way. And so don't miss out on your opportunities to do that by doing things unconventionally. Not understanding is no longer an excuse or reason as to why you don't do something. Not knowing what Forex is not a reason. Not knowing what crypto is not a reason. Not knowing what DeFi is or what, blockchain or metaverse is, that's not a reason. It's not. You better tap in. Tap in. That's what you need to do. I have people right now making money that I don't know what the heck they're doing other than copying and pasting me. But you know what, though? Because they're a part of a community, they have access to financial literacy and experts from different fields that can help them continue to grow their money and diversify their money. Because your money shouldn't just stay in one place. So I'm never going to tell you just trade Forex. I'm not going to tell you just to stay in crypto. We're going to tell you to diversify, to tap into the multiple streams to ensure that you have a diversified portfolio. That money is always flowing. Solomon said have about 8. Because you never know. When one might dry up, you better have you something else coming in. That's why I use all of my gifts. I use all of my gifts, honey. Do you hear me? All of them. Like, dang, Sharita, you do everything. Listen, the Lord is good. If he gave it to me, I'm going to use it. And I'm going to monetize it. You best believe that. You best believe that, okay? So with all that being said, y'all, get rich or die trying. But get rich for real. That's real talk. Because you're either going to be rich or be poor in America. No one would have ever thought that. But in America, it will look like third world countries. I mean, it's starting to happen already. It's starting to happen already. The copy and paste calculators are we discussed already. And it's the same price point, but it will increase on Monday. So that's that. So y'all do what you gotta do. Like, I know people that sell. There are people, I've heard stories of people that lived in Africa, people living in America that would sell their cars, sell their TVs, did whatever they need to do to get money to invest to change their lives. You do what you gotta do. You gotta cook something, do somebody's hair. You better figure out a way. There's a parable in the Bible. And this parable in the Bible is about a man who was working for someone, and he was a servant, and he owed his master some money. And so what he did was he had to be creative, and he went to everybody else who owed his master money, right? So he was like, let me go real quick and try to get this money real quick. So he went, you know what? I know you owe $100. Give me 75. We're going to make this work. Went to another person. Give me 30. I know you owe 60, but give me 30. We're going to make this work. He was creative in making sure he got what he needed. And he went back to the master, and the master was pleased with him because he went and got creative to get what he needed to get done. Get creative. Listen, I remember when I went to college just so that I could get a stipend because I couldn't get a regular loan. I had to get creative. And what did I do? I used that money to start a business. Hello, somebody. I remember when I used my tax return to start a business because I had no other funds. Like this, listen, y'all, there's no excuses. Where there's a will, there is a way. Point blank, period. How bad do you want it? How bad do you want it? So I'm gonna get off here, but if you would like to work with me and copy and paste me and join the amazing Royal Pretty Pip Society, where we are a sorority, a sorority rather, and fraternity ish group of people that are determined to bridge the wealth gap in the Black and colored communities here to ensure that we are able to leave generational wealth, tap into different industries, but starting with creating a skill set in the trading market, in the forex market, crypto, getting into the whole digital world space, as well as being able to copy and paste me while you learn. That's the beautiful part, that you get to make money almost ASAP when you get to copy and paste my trades. Today was a beautiful day, y'all. It was a beautiful, and when I say beautiful day, it was really by 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock this morning. I haven't even called any trades yet. I'm going to call some trades probably tonight, maybe around the London session before then. But we were done. We were done this morning by like 9 something, I think it was. And some of you saw my stories on my personal page. That was just one account. I'm gonna leave it at that. So if you want to be a part of that, inbox me. The price will increase in a couple of days, so don't miss it. And let's get it done. Let us be rich, because one, God promised us that. Like that's basic. He promised us riches. He promised us that that we would have life and have it more abundantly. He already told us he would multiply us 1,000 times. He already told us he gave us the power to get wealth. He already told us in our prosperity we should never be moved. He already told us that wealth and riches are in our houses. He already told us that his blessing makes us rich and adds no sorrow. These are all promises. The question is, do you believe it and we take action to manifest it? Did y'all know trading was in the Bible? I'll do a video about that another day. So get in my inbox if you want to go ahead and get started with me ASAP, like right now, and I will help you do so. If you're watching from YouTube, you can email SharitaLeon@gmail.com. Y'all, it's time to get in this thing. It's not time to be making no excuse and being scared, doing stuff that don't work. Let me get off of here before I go to let me get over here before I hurt somebody's feelings. Y'all doing something that don't work and you scared to do something different. I don't understand that. But anyway, I got to go, y'all. Thank you for watching. Until next time, only believe until the end and go get your life.
I'm a millionaire, money better cases. I ain't gotta chase.